This is your Thursday afternoon update. Happy March 21st, everyone. My name is Hunter here with Weather on the Go, and in today's weather forecast, we're going to be looking at a major snowstorm, growing confidence of a major snowstorm across the north as we go into this weekend and next week. And on the warm side of that same system, heavy rainfall with flash flooding potential and severe weather potential will need to be monitored. And also looking into the long range outlook, we'll update you on that into early April's forecast later on in today's video. If you do like detailed, accurate weather forecasts, this is the channel for you folks. Make sure if you aren't subscribed to hit that subscribe button down below, as well as press the like button, the thumbs up button. It helps out more than you know. So let's look at our temperatures heading out the door this afternoon, whether that's coming home from work, school, or running any errands out there. It is colder, more wintry-like across the north here into southern Canada and the northern tier of the United States. Temperatures are ranging from 15 degrees up here into Manitoba to the mid-30s into the Dakotas to even 70 down into the Tulsa region this afternoon. And let's look at those temperatures going into the weekend. So as we go into Friday here, colder to the north, the coldest of air will be up here into southern Canada, but we're still feeling wintry across the north into the northern U.S. on Friday. More fall to spring-like across the south and southeast as we go into Friday. Same thing as we go into Saturday, colder air bottled up to the north, more fall spring-like temperatures further to the south, and we carry that even into Sunday to end the weekend as well. So let's look here at the proverbial elephant in the room, and that is a winter storm. And we have winter weather advisories hoisted for portions of the northern high plains into the upper Midwest, where we are gearing up for at least a few inches of snow and some impactful snow on those roadways going through that time frame. Even winter storm watches from upstate New York into Vermont, New Hampshire, and even into Maine, even blizzard warnings up there into northern Maine, where we are gearing up for several inches of snow and some blowing and drifting snow up in those areas. So let's look at this as we go into tonight. There's our Alberta Clipper system moving down into the upper Midwest. Some light to briefly moderate snowfall rates will be likely there, especially into the eastern Dakotas and central Minnesota. A marginal risk of severe storms ongoing across southeast Texas, maybe a hail threat with that, maybe a damaging wind threat. Really not that big of a deal, but just make sure you're watching out for those 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-size hailstones. As we go into your Friday tomorrow, there's our Clipper system moving across the Chicagoland area, Milwaukee to Green Bay, over here into Kalamazoo, Grand Rapids, those areas here. As we go into Friday, rainfall and more dreary day across the Gulf Coast and especially into Florida there in Georgia. Very wet conditions on your Friday. And then as we go into Saturday, the energy from the south near the Gulf Coast on Friday will make its way up the East Coast for Saturday, joining forces with our Alberta Clipper to produce a decent snowstorm across interior New England here, and that could give us some very heavy snow back in that region. But in general, across the north, we're watching out for a couple to a few inches of accumulating snow through your Sunday, March 24th time frame across portions of the Dakotas, Minnesota, here into northern Iowa, Wisconsin, far northern Illinois, probably more so the northern Chicago suburbs, into Michigan there, and then across interior New England. We'll keep an eye on that. And here are your total snow accumulations once these two systems merge. We have the energy from the south moving up the East Coast, and we have the Alberta Clipper system dropping out of that northwest flow through the Great Lakes, and they're going to meet up across the northeast here. And we could have a decent March snowstorm, over a foot of snow, some areas up to 18 inches in those blizzard warning areas. We could see blowing, drifting snow, so definitely a very impactful snow event, and likely needing the snow blowers and the plows out here as we go through this upcoming weekend. But that is not it. As we go into late this weekend, here comes another trough. We got energy moving in across the Pacific Southwest, edging its way over here toward portions of Texas. And then there's that big, what I call a cereal bowl type trough across portions of the United States early next week here. And you can see it drops all the way down here into the Rio Grande Valley, lifting back up across the Great Lakes here. And this is going to cause some trouble. So as we go into Saturday, here's the energy out west. We have rain, we have snow, and the snow will be piling up in those higher elevations. We're talking the Sierras, we're talking the Cascades, the Rockies on Saturday. Then as we go into Sunday, cold air in place as we mentioned earlier on in the video, this will be wintry precipitation, whether it's all snow or even a little narrow area of a mix of rain, snow, sleet, freezing rain. We'll keep an eye on that, but this could be a major winter storm across portions of Montana, the Dakotas, into Minnesota and northern Iowa into Sunday. Watching the severe weather threat on the southern flank of the system, the warm sector across Kansas, Oklahoma, and Texas on Sunday. Then a mature surface cyclone will develop, a 991 millibar low in western Iowa. Cold frontal severe weather threat, we'll watch that across the lower Mississippi Valley, but look at the north. Tight isobars, a wind-driven snow machine up here across portions of the Dakotas into Nebraska and really into Minnesota. Central and northern Minnesota, folks, the Twin Cities in particular, could really see a wallop from this storm going into Monday. And then as we go into Tuesday, it's still snowing, folks. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, it's going to be snowing in the Dakotas and into Minnesota here. And again, more cold frontal severe weather potential through Dixie Alley in the southeast on Tuesday. And then the cold front starts to weaken as we go into the East Coast, mainly just a rain event, severe weather not an issue, but still the snow piling up this time into southeastern Canada by the middle of next weekend, Wednesday, March 27th. Let's look at that second snowstorm. This could be pretty significant here from Saturday, March 23rd through Wednesday, March 27th. This weekend through the middle of next week, look at some of these totals here. We could be seeing up to 2 feet, yes, 2 feet of snow in parts of Minnesota here, if not eastern South Dakota, according to the European forecast model. And actually, some forecast models are more bullish than this, up to near 30 inches. So that is something to watch, especially here for March standards. And then on the warm side, we're talking about heavy rain across the southeast and up the East Coast. This could lead to some flash flooding threats from portions of the I-95 corridor there, from Boston down through New York City there into Washington, D.C., but also into places like Jackson, Mississippi, into Montgomery and Atlanta, and even Chattanooga there in Tennessee. We'll be watching out for the threat of flooding going through the middle of next week. We have to keep an eye on the warm sector, though. The Storm Prediction Center's Day 4 outlook has a slight risk of severe weather from central Kansas down into western Oklahoma and northwest Texas. This could include all modes of severe weather on Sunday, and then that will shift east across the lower Mississippi Valley there from western Tennessee into eastern Arkansas, much of Mississippi there into Louisiana as we go into Monday. Again, all modes of severe weather, including tornadoes, will be possible. Let's look at the setup here. So this is your lightning flash density. This basically just shows you where thunderstorms are likely to be as we go into Sunday, likely seeing more of a widely scattered mode of coverage. So we're not seeing widespread severe weather on Sunday, but if you get under one of those cells, they could become feisty, damaging winds, large hail, and a couple tornadoes. And then as we go into Sunday night, this will favor more of the stronger instability down in Texas. That's where the higher coverage of storms will be, down there into Texas Hill Country, perhaps knocking on the door of the Dallas-Fort Worth area and San Antonio later Sunday night. Then as we go into Monday, we have ongoing storms along and east of the I-35 corridor, eastern Texas. We'll have to watch those for a hail threat early Monday morning, and then these will mature as they move east in a very dynamic jet stream. I think Monday looks to be a more significant day for severe weather. We have individual discrete or semi-discrete supercells. This could be a bigger day for severe weather in general, but even tornadoes, and this will be, look at Monday night. This will be a nighttime threat, so we definitely have to keep an eye on that. And that's not it even at all. We have another storm behind that late next week. As that moves east, we got another one moving in here to the west coast, and we'll just do it all over again next weekend as a major trough moves in through California, producing more mudslides and landslides and a bunch of rainfall and snow out there. So definitely a wave train of storms moving across the country, and you can see that on Thursday, another rainmaker across the East Coast. We just got done with heavy rain this weekend. Later next week, we're doing it all over again. Moderate to heavy rain from the I-95 corridor, and some of this rainfall will actually be over our fresh snowpack, so a flooding threat even into Maine, where they're going to get 18 inches of snow here this weekend, is definitely going to be something to keep an eye on. Heavy snow with the new system out west on Thursday. That'll cut across the country. Watching a low-pressure cyclone there across portions of the Central Plains. Maybe a severe weather threat for eastern Kansas, Oklahoma, and North Texas later next week on Friday. Friday. Then here comes that major trough on Saturday. That'll be diving across portions of the Four Corners region and the Rockies. Again, more heavy snow to end the month of March. Let's look at early April, though, because I know a lot of you are wondering, well, winter has not been here all winter, and it's winter now, but we're trying to get into spring. Well, as we go into early April, we are still looking at below normal temperatures across the western third of the country, at least through April 8th. So that takes us through the first week in April. And really the lower 48 in general is going to see below normal temperatures. And here's our low pressure anomaly here. You can see the strongest anomaly signal is across the upper Midwest into portions of the upper Great Lakes. And what this means is that's likely where the low pressure will be during that time frame. It'll track up through the Four Corners region, cutting across the Central Plains and on up there into portions of the Great Lakes. The warm sector will be across the southeast and the eastern seaboard. That could set us up for more severe weather. And then on the northwest side, again, more snow. Colder air is still not in short supply there. We got below normal temperatures favoring that storm track and snowfall. So let's look here at our total precipitation through the first week in April, and it looks to be another wet one again for Dixie Alley, the southeast, and up the east coast. And cumulative of a lot of this rainfall, storm after storm after storm, has me concerned for flash flooding down here into the southeast and up the east coast, and we'll have to watch a severe weather threat during this time as well on the warm side. Then on the cold side, yes, there could be just enough marginal cold air for some snowfall here from southern and southeastern Canada down through the upper Midwest, Minnesota again, Wisconsin again, the Dakotas, back into Nebraska, the Rockies, the Cascades, the Sierras. A lot of the same areas that are seeing snow this weekend and next week will see it likely through the first week of April as well. So the same storm track will be there as we turn into the new month, and we'll keep you covered on that. Thank you guys so much for watching today's afternoon update. We will continue to keep you covered here at Weather on the Go. My name is Hunter. I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of their Thursday out there.